Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our 10 youngsters to watch in the Championship this coming season. We're trying to look ahead and pick out some players who are, well, let's just say, going to be a little bit more at the forefront of our minds and maybe climbing up the hierarchy at their club, maybe even having a big breakthrough season in the Championship next season coming. I must apologise very, very quickly. I can't use my studio lights today. It is so hot, it's not true. I've shut the window, I've turned the fan off. I'll try and get through this, but I will no doubt need a bath and a change of clothes after doing this. And I'll also apologise because we need to do the rules because we do get very silly comments on these type of videos. So, just to be incredibly clear about this, I have selected players who are under 21. That is under 21. Not under 21 rules where you can be 21, but i.e. Anyone 20 years and 364 days old or younger. As of today, Monday the 19th of July. I have to do it, I'm sorry. No loanees this season. I know I chucked a couple in last season's one, but let's focus purely on players that belong to, at this moment in time, Championship clubs. And also, I tend to do this on all of my sort of list videos. We put a limit on it, one per club max. So, doesn't get boring. So we go represent 10 different clubs here. And most importantly, this is not a top 10. I am not saying these are the 10 best young players in the division. I am pointing out 10 youngsters to watch. And we'll always get emotional comments from someone saying, "You missed out so-and-so from my club." Well, what you could do is you could respectfully pop that in the comments and say, "Why don't you have a look out for this guy next season, Ben?" And then we can all move along with our day happily without any online outrage or inability to communicate on these platforms. Shall we get on with the list? And first up is a bit of a no-brainer here. 18 years old is Daniel Jebbison of Sheffield United, who you may well remember was on the score sheet in the Premier League. Obviously, the Blades didn't have a good season last season. And what tends to happen when clubs don't have a good season is they're often more willing to actually put youngsters in and say, "Go on, get in there, have a go. It's not working, I'll try that." In came Jebbison at the end of last season. 3 Premier League starts, and he did get that goal you saw in the picture there off at Everton. He probably would have been 17 at that point as well. Brewster, Mousset, McGoldrick, McBurney, Sharp. There are some decent level strikers there. If Brewster recaptures anywhere near his Swansea form, he'll find the Championship fairly easy going. Just needs a goal, I think, doesn't he, at Sheffield United. Mousset, would that be one they might sell on? Who knows? You tell me. McGoldrick and Sharp, ageing. McBurney's had some injury issues back end of last season coming into pre-season. So I think Blades fans know that Jebbison will be there and ready to go. And if he takes the shirt, he might not give it back. Give me your thoughts on Daniel Jebbison of Sheffield United. And here is another player with a Premier League goal. In fact, he's celebrating it right there and then. That is Fabio Carvalho, who is 18 years old. And he plays for Fulham, another relegated chap. Portuguese born, but has represented England in the 16s, the 17s and the 18s. Came in, again, back end of last season. I believe, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, Fulham were already relegated at that point. 3 starts. He played once at wing-back and then moved to sort of inside forward in that 3-4-3 system that lots of managers like to play these days. And you would suspect a team being relegated and lots of loan players at Fulham and presumably some wage culling needs to be done, that he may well get a go. Remember, with strikers it's hard, isn't it? Because you got to stick those goals on. But you get a little bit more latitude, I think, don't you? If you're sort of a right-sided player, you might get a little bit more patience because you're not being judged purely on goals as strikers do. So I suspect we'll see Mr. Carvalho this season, a familiar name in West London football circles. You let me know how many times we might see him and what he might be likely to do. Here is our third 18-year-old, Tommy Conway of Bristol City, who I believe is celebrating a goal there as well. And he made his breakthrough at the back end of last season in Nigel Pearson's sort of grumpy bombing out of a lot of the established Bristol City players. In he came. He played number 10 a couple of times. He played number 9 as well. I think possibly the final sort of 3 games of the season. He did get on the score sheet as well. And it was very much a sense of the season sort of ending before the season ended for Bristol City, where they needed to turn everything around. New chief exec, new manager, maybe some players going out and some coming in. And Pearson went with the youngsters, and Conway was certainly a sort of feather in the cap of Bristol City's young players coming through. Wells, Martin, Semenyo, possible strikers there. Maybe the row behind. Maybe he's the number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. Who knows what Pearson will do system wise. Vyman, O'Dowda, and Palmer around there. So certainly untainted sometimes, these young players, and they don't have the anxieties that certain players have who maybe have been through tough times at certain clubs. So we'll see. Looking forward to seeing Conway in and getting some minutes for Bristol City next season. Minutes. How many minutes will Ricky J. Jones, who is 18, of Peterborough, get? This is a bit of a gamble, I will admit, and I did DM with the Yellow Block Peterborough podcast just to make sure I was getting my facts straight this morning. So only one start for Ricky J. Jones, and I think 14 or 15 appearances in total, including all those sub-appearances. It was after Peterborough got promoted, but just one of those names that always comes up, and they're being linked with transfers from the word go. I think Tottenham and other Premier League clubs last season as well. Peterborough have signed Jack Marriott and have Johnson Clark-Harris, but did play a front three. So we will see what strategy Darren Ferguson wants to use. Certainly very, very highly rated. And at this point, I will hedge my bets and also mention Harrison Burrows of Peterborough as well, who may get more minutes at left wing back, I am informed. But I'll stick with Ricky J. Jones, and we'll see. You just never know with forward players if they can train well, make that sub-appearance, get that goal, can really put pressure on established strikers. Maybe not Johnson Clark-Harris, but the returning hero, Marriott, certainly needs a run and to score some goals to re-establish himself in Championship fans' minds as a viable striker. And we'll see if Ricky J. Jones can get on the pitch there at Posh. Let me know what you think there. Here is Nathan Wood-Gordon, who is 19 years old and plays for Middlesbrough. 6 foot, strapping centre half. And Neil Warnock is his manager, which is obviously very helpful there. And a bit short-handed at centre-half last season, weren't they? Paddy McNair sort of moved back from central midfield, and they've got Dale Fry, haven't they? Grant as well. Grant Hall, excuse me. Is there an opening there if Warnock goes with a back three? I think there might be. Sort of a couple of starts and sub-appearances at the back end of last season. Is he ready to go? I think he's got a chance if Warnock plays a back three of playing lots of games. And sometimes these curmudgeonly managers in the Championship are a bit pragmatic. Sometimes we knock them at Warnocks, McCarthy's, Hutons, Rowett's, etc. But they're good managers for young defensive players to work with. They really, really are. And someone like Adam Webster certainly benefited from a couple of years with Mick McCarthy, didn't he, in terms of getting those good habits. And I think this could be good for Nathan Wood-Gordon. Let me know if you think he's going to become a regular, maybe in a back three up at Borough this season. Another 19-year-old here is Kyle Joseph, who is a new signing for Swansea. He was at Wigan last season. 12 starts, 5 goals down in League One. Scored a hat-trick at Burton as well. And there was very much a sense, and there has been very much a sense, a player we mentioned earlier in this video, since Rhian Brewster left Swansea after his loan, and they went with Jamal Lowe and Andre Ayew, who essentially were wide players or 10s playing in those striker positions. Big sense that they never fill the position. Tried Victor Gyökeres as a dedicated striker. They've signed Joel Pirro, we think, for well over £1 million as well. So you'd imagine he's going to play, but if it's a front two, there's Cullen, there is Lowe as well. Steve Cooper finished last season with a 4-3-3 as well. So there could be possibilities there for Kyle Joseph. Again, I think Pirro will be, whatever happens, first choice in a front two or as the one in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3 type thing. But does he need a partner? Do they go 3-5-2 again? Could it be Kyle Joseph? I think he'll get some chances off the bench for sure to begin with. And we know Steve Cooper, very good and very knowledgeable in terms of those representative players at a young age. And he's not afraid to stick them in the team. So let me know what you think in terms of Kyle Joseph at Swansea. And across we go to Cardiff. And this is Ruben Coyle, 19 of Cardiff, who actually made the Wales squad for the Euros. I don't know whether he made the bench in any of the games. I didn't check, to be honest. But certainly very highly rated. Did a little Google, and Rob Page, the Wales manager, said they've been blown away by the way he trained. He played sort of front right in a 3-4-3 for the final games for Cardiff at the end of last season. He was used. Cardiff had Harry Wilson as well as a kind of chief creative influence last season. They also had parachute payments. This season they don't have parachute payments and they don't have Harry Wilson, which if I'm Ruben Coyle, I'm thinking, right, here's my chance. I can get in and influence games. It's another one of our curmudgeonly managers, isn't it? It's Mick McCarthy. So he'll have to do his tracking back and he'll have to get those bits right. But again, it's no bad thing if a young player's got natural talent. Mick McCarthy can't give Ruben Coyle talent. He can give him discipline for sure. And it sounds like Ruben Colwell's already got plenty of talent as well. And he's made his breakthrough and was tried at the end of last season, which is often a signal that the manager is ready to play him. And we do know many things about Mick. If a young player is ready to go, he will stick him in the team. But he will not tolerate any fancy Dans or anyone not tracking back. Let me know how many games you think Ruben Coyle will get for Cardiff next season. And here is Jack Stretton, who Derby fans have been telling me about for about 2 years now. Jack Stretton, 19 at Derby. Obviously, he's got England and Manchester United's all-time top scorer as his boss as well. So there's a manager who, whatever is going on in the background, should be able to identify a young striker, being he was the young striker of the last generation coming through. Goal machine at every age group, under 18s, under 23s. Went out to Stockport in the National League, 3 goals in 5 games there. We often see and hear about these type of players that just score and score and score all their way up the age groups. So then it's just a matter of the psychology of it all, and can you make that final step into men's football and high caliber, high level football? I think he probably can, can't he? Championship sub appearances last season as well. And one thing that could work for and could work against Derby and Jack Stretton is they're in a bit of chaos, aren't they, financially? So it's not going to be one of those situations where Wayne Rooney can drip him in nice and gently and build him up. They may just have to throw him in. Kazim Richards, Ibasele, another youngster in there. Baldock, I think, is on a trial, but maybe not signed for sure. So there could be chances there, but it could be a Michael Elise situation that we had at Reading where they were just forced to play him and in he went and off he goes at the end of the season, where you may want a 2 or 3 year build of your star young player. So interested to see. And again, if the mind's right and he can make that final step, this guy seems to know where the goal is. And yes, Derby fans have been my ear about him a long time. That's Jack Stretton. Right, this one seems a bit of a no-brainer, doesn't it? Jacob Greaves, 20 years old at Hull, a 6-foot centre-half. It says on SofaScore he's right-footed, but then it looks like he plays left side. If this guy can get in any way two-footed, then you're starting to get Adam Webster, Rob Dickey type hype around him, as in young, English, centre-half, powerful. Can he use the ball? That's what, if he wants a great career, that's what these Premier League clubs and the like want. In terms of Hull, though, he's a League One champion from last season. 39 starts in League One. So this guy is not a gamble, and he will be a starting centre-back. And I'm not sitting here asking you how many games he's going to play. Is he going to break through? The question with someone like Jacob Greaves is, will he become a star in the Championship? Because, again, 20 years old, English, left-sided centre-back. If he does, his price is going to skyrocket. We've seen how desirable these players are. So, could be a big year for Greaves at Hull. And here is our last of our 10 youngsters to watch. And again, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? This is Brennan Johnson of Nottingham Forest. And when we're talking about Jack Stretton, and apologies, I don't want to make a Derby Forest comparison and fuel that fire anymore, but probably Derby would have wanted to do with Jack Stretton what Forest have done with Brennan Johnson, i.e. Brennan Johnson was on loan at Lincoln last season and made 41 starts, 11 goals, 5 assists, played an entire season of, again, high-level, grown men's football down there in League One. Maybe a bit of a reputation as getting into the box and drawing some fouls, if I've said that politely. But look, my colours to the mast. You know we're friendly with his dad here, who's been on the channel before. So, big fan of Brennan Johnson. There's Grabban, there's Taylor, there's Lolly there. And then there's these youngsters, Alex Mighton and Brennan Johnson, who maybe Mighton's a little bit ahead in terms of actual first team stuff, but Johnson surely is now ready to go at Championship level, and maybe in a 4-2-3-1 will start getting minutes. And can he affect things at Championship level in the way he did at League One level for Lincoln last season? You let me know what you think down there in the comments. And that is my 10 youngsters to watch. Please get involved in the comments. Just remember, I've picked players who are under 21 at time of recording. If you believe, like most physicists do, that time works in a linear fashion, then 19th of July. I know a couple of these players have got August, September birthdays. So, yes, they are, as things stand, under 21. No loanees this season. Did think about Levi Coyle. We already had one Coyle in here. He's gone off to Huddersfield, young Chelsea centre-half. Should honourable mention to William Forrester as well of Stoke. Who else made my list but didn't quite make it in? I'm trying to think. Tyrese Dolan I thought about as well at Blackburn, but I think we've spoken about him a lot. A bit more interested in some of those players who cut their teeth in League One. One per club, Max. This is not a top 10. What I would love is, rather than an outraged comment because I haven't included your favourite player from the club you support, I'd love you to say, oh, what about this guy, Ben? I think he'll have a good season, and we can get a nice, good dialogue going in the comments. And of course, we can have a look back at these in a year's time or so. And it is on my list to look back at the players who I put forth last season. So hopefully we'll do that as some kind of video. Look, I've had my say, now you have yours. Let me know what you think about the players I've picked out as ones to watch. And please feel free, with no sense of outrage or hurt, to tell me about any players that I haven't included. Again, it's not a top 10. Hopefully we can get a lovely span of young players that we need to keep an eye out for, that we're excited to watch in the Championship this season. Anyway, as predicted, I'm pouring with sweat in my Benjamin Bloom merchandise, which you can get over at the Benjamin Bloom merchandise store as well. Plenty of videos coming up. We are 3 weeks away from the start of the season. Let me know what type of things you'd like to see me cover. This has been the 10 youngsters to watch. Not the only 10 youngsters to watch, but just 10 youngsters to watch in the Championship. Get in those comments and enjoy the sunshine, for God's sake, on Freedom Day. I don't like that. There we go. Anyway, get involved, and it's a lovely over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.